huge breadfruit tree.
Not yet. We gotta go back to our ship and charge.
Is this an apartment complex or condominium? Torre del Mar?
Any of these condos here will run you 400,000 and up. Everything on the periphery of the ocean is very expensive real estate. Now take a look at this beautiful tree coming up here on the right-hand side. That is breadfruit, and you can see the breadfruit from here. It's kind of blooming. It's full of breadfruit, by the way. Now they're blooming all here. Like I said, we cook it, we fry it, we bake it. It is the texture of bread, and it's very high in calories. It has become one of our staple foods, very much like the bananas and the plantains and the mangoes and the sour sop and the kumquats that grow spontaneously here. So if you got yourself a neighbor that has 5 or 6 of those, you really don't want to move away from him. Okay?
Well, they have the wire on the trunk there.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Actually, breadfruit pana. P-A-N-A. Pana. That's how they call it. And sometimes people here, it's very artsy, this area. Sometimes they decorate it during Christmas. All of these trees are full of tiny little
ornament
Christmas lights. The whole area becomes very, very, very beautiful. Now coming up on the left-hand side, we have this little park dedicated to the Taino Indians that were here when Cristoforo Colombo arrived, and 200 years after they arrived, they all became extinct. The Taino Indians were very peaceful. They had no natural defenses and no place to run like in South and Central America. We have a lot of American students coming down here, and they all rent little apartments on this area we're going to go down through. The parents are no longer allowing them to go study in Europe, and they're all coming here now. And also we're getting all of the kids for spring break. They love it here. We had about 5,000 the last time. We're expecting about 10,000 for next spring break. From the United States. They love it here. They stay here at the wind chimes or right next to the ocean, which is just 1 block down. Right. And they love it here because the beer is good, inexpensive, and the discos close at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they seem to like that one a lot.
Right. Spring break in the
All of this area is full of very nice guest houses, and off season, remember, you have access to the beaches all the time. You can get a very nice room here for about $65 to $75, which is really not that bad.
That's excellent.
By the way, we're going the same way they took President Obama when he visited here about 1.5 years ago. Everybody remembers Benicio del Toro, the young Puerto Rican actor? Well, he was born in this surf shop right here on the left-hand side. It's owned by him and his nephews. He's making a good name for himself now in Hollywood, Benicio del Toro. It has become, this is one of the best surf shops here. Puerto Rico has become an international surfing destination.
Oh, wow. They have vans too?
Oh, yes.
¿Tiene su marca?
Oh, yes. And coming up ahead here is a very nice cafeteria owned by Spanish exiles called Casalta. This is where Obama stopped to have himself a nice Cuban sandwich. And after that, everybody wanted to sit on their tables, so they had to take all the tables and the chairs out. This is one of the finest places to come to see and be seen by other people here. And here on the left-hand side, this beautiful home with a Japanese roof in it was the home of Puerto Rican singer Tito Rodriguez, very famous back in New York during the 50s and 60s. His wife was Japanese, met her, married her during the occupation, and that's why, you know, the home is built like that. Any little studio apartment on this area will run you about $500 plus about $100 more for electricity because it is very expensive here. We bring all the oil from the American companies in Venezuela. If that ever dries up, we'll get it from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Now take a look at this beautiful almond trees. We're going right through it. A lot of people ask me about the bars in the homes. It's not because of crime. It was the Spanish way of decorating. Back in the old days, they used to be very ornamental and very hard to keep. And they just went for the straight bars so the wind could come right through. This area here is called Ocean Park. And it's not one of our 5 blue flag beaches that we have here in Puerto Rico, but it's our local neighborhood beach. A lot of these homes are now being turned into guest houses, and every Sunday we have a big old traffic jam here because right around here they put a bandstand and the orchestras are paying for the public. This guy that sells here up ahead on the left-hand side, when Obama stopped, gave him a nice cone and he wanted to put 151 rum, and of course the Secret Service said, no way, Jose. You can't do that to the president.
Right.
Those are plantains there. You know, about 1.5 miles out there on the left-hand side, we have the second deepest part of the ocean in the world. And it's called the Puerto Rican Trench. And according to NASA, not according to Manolo here, it's 23,633 feet deep and counting.
See the sea rồi không? Khiếp mát,ลึกmát. So this is very deep.
These are all very nice and beautiful homes, and they just opened this one now, but I would not want to live here even if you paid the rent for free, okay? Because when that ocean gets angry, so there's a big turnover of real estate here. The people come, build a nice home, they live in it, and after the first hurricane, they move out.
Well, that's like us in Sandy in New Jersey. Same thing happened. It's happening now. Yep.
But we have beaches here that are absolutely beautiful. Luquillo Beach is one of them. Then we take you to a nice little bay right next to the rainforest. And about 6 p.m., put you in 2-person kayaks. And we take you out to the bay. Just deep water only. You don't even have to know how to swim to go there. And when you get in the water, we have a microorganism in the water that emits light, and they stick to all of your body hairs, and you glow like you're taking an uranium-235 pill. It's absolutely amazing. We have 2 of the most brightest bioluminescent bays in the world here in Puerto Rico. Another one of our big attractions here. Another thing to see and do when you come back. And next time you come to my country, come in a plane. Those ships leave too quickly. We don't have a chance to show you everything, okay? Everybody speaks English here. It is very safe here. Come back on a plane and stay here for a couple of days. There's much more to see and do in Puerto Rico than tourist to historical or San Juan. We're quite multicultural, multi-religious here in Puerto Rico. We have 5 synagogues, 3 mosques, all the Protestant denominations. You can imagine we have a lot of Germans. We have Oktoberfest up in the mountains. They still dress up in the old Hungarian costumes and the sauerbraten and the winter niche, and this sort of great. And they even have a Puerto Rican Oompa band there. We have a lot of Irish here. Here is one of the many churches. A lot of the American executives that live on here on the island, they come here. Like I said, we have over 25,000 American continentals living here in Puerto Rico. We have 2 all-English radio stations and an all-English newspaper, and it's a Pulitzer Prize winner, by the way. Take a look at these beautiful homes. This area is gated. This area is gated, but they close them very early in the afternoon, about 6 p.m. They close the gates, and the rest of the days they remain open. This area is called Punta Las Marias, or the St. Mary's Point, and here on the left, a very nice Argentinian steakhouse. Chess is one of the best places to come here and have some of that fine dining. This area we're going to be going through now is full of restaurants and discotheques. You see all the businesses are mostly in English. We even have Middle Eastern food here. Like I said, we have Puerto Ricans with all kinds of European and Middle Eastern last names here. We have Irish pubs here. We have British pubs. We drink green beer here on St. Paddy's Day. A lot of Irishmen came here too. But if you come back to Puerto Rico and go to an Irish pub, when you go in, please duck, because Puerto Ricans cannot play darts, okay? We do okay at baseball, but we cannot play darts. They took them all out. The insurance got to be a little bit too high. Other very nice steakhouses and restaurants here. And like I said, where we're driving now on the weekends is bumper to bumper. This area we're starting to go in here is called Isla Verde. This is the beginning of our second and much larger strip of hotels that we have here. But the other one we went through before is smaller, quainter. It has sidewalk cafes. This one's just too big, doesn't have sidewalk cafes. So I prefer the other one. You get a better tourist experience on the other one. The Marriott and La Concha Hotel are the best places to stay. A lot of people rent a lot of these apartments here during the U.S. winter. We have a lot of people coming in from Chicago and New York that actually rent some of these apartments for the whole season. Besides the beaches, and they're public, and all of these places have to have access to it, we have in Puerto Rico the world's largest radio telescope, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen in old Jodie Foster movies trying to make contact. If it happens, it's going to be in Puerto Rico and not back in California or New Mexico, but right here. We have a very nice tour to take you there, and right after that one, we take you to our underground rivers and caverns. Puerto Rico has the world's third largest underground rivers and cave system in the world. Take a look at this Peruvian ceviche restaurant here, which is pickled raw fish.
Oh, ceviche.
And here, for example, right here on the right-hand side, we have Supermax, which is just another name for Winn-Dixie. Then we have Amigos, which is another name for Pantry Pride. Names might change a little bit, but all remains the same. They're all U.S. companies. Here on the left, a cemetery very much like the ones you would find in New Orleans. They have funerals on the ocean on this one here, and the big developers wanted to change it. They wanted to actually turn into condos here, and for the first time ever, all the three big political parties here finally agreed on something, and it remains. Now this area, you're going to find everything that you got back in the States. Look around you, everything. You're going to feel very much like at home. Here on the left, this is one of the easements that they have to provide to gain access to the beaches. Not too wide, but just enough so people can make it through. We're very big here in roast pork. I'd say we have kosher pork in Puerto Rico because it's not like the pork back in the United States. It gets fed hard as a palm. Actually, no hormones ever goes through their system, and we cook them on a spit. And not like people in Hawaii, they don't know how to cook pork. They bury the darn things. Here we cook them on a spit, and we put guava leaves right on top, and it becomes a very, very sweet tasting meat. Quite unique, quite a unique experience.
Rico. I love that roasted pork. Delicious. Is this Carolina, Manny?
This is Carolina. You're in Carolina right now, sir. Yes, sir. This is where Roberto Clemente was born, and I'm sure you all know who he was. The only guy that could get you out on a home plate, throwing from the fields without a relay. Played for the Pittsburgh Pirates for a long time. And the stadium that bears his name is the exact copy of the old stadium that they have in Pittsburgh. We have a very large presence of police, as you have noticed around here. It is very safe to walk around on this area as it is in Old San Juan. Day or night. See here on the right, we got everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And on this corner, this is where the kids hang out on the Friday nights. This is where all the fast bikes come and are stationed here. You can hardly drive through here. Then police break them up about 1 o'clock in the morning and then take this eastman here on the left and they go party on the beach. Now coming up are two of the most beautiful hotels in the island of Puerto Rico. All of this is open 24/7. This, they call it the Dome. Now they changed the names. A very famous disco they have here used to be called the Flying Saucer. Here's your first Walgreens. Okay, we got ourselves an ambulance. Long John Silver's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, you name it, we got it, folks. Sam's Club, Walmart, Costco, you name it, we have it. It's all here. In fact, Burger King was tested here first before the first one opened back in the States.
Yeah, I remember. That's why I said that to poke fun at the fact that you have all these fast food. Burger King, yes. Escuchas.
Now, if you take a look on the little left-hand side there, you can almost see the beach out there. Yes. And it comes all the way down here, too. Keeps on going. Now, here on the left is the old Americana Hotels. This is one of the most beautiful hotels here. And the one next to it, it is the most beautiful, the old El San Juan Intercontinental. I'm a little bit partial to this hotel. I was the lifeguard here when I had hair on my head many, many years ago. And I used to catch Liza Minnelli here on the first show and go next door to the old El San Juan Intercontinental and catch Sammy Davis for the second show. All perks of being a lifeguard. You should see that sunken bar they have on the lobby at the old El San Juan Intercontinental, and the even bigger chandelier that goes with it. This hotel was built by the same people that built all those beautiful hotels in Havana before Castro kicked them all out. And they just don't build them like this anymore. The inside is full of wood, full of very nice decorations. If you come to Puerto Rico, this is one of the nicest places to stay at. And all the money from the gambling goes to our largest bureaucracy here, and that is the Department of Education. If you want to go to school here and have no money, the government will actually help put you through school. And since we have all of the pharmaceuticals in the world either actively manufacturing medication or doing some R&D, particularly in our rainforest, University of Puerto Rico graduates more chemical engineers than any university back in the continental United States. Now coming up here on the right-hand side, we have about 1,000 cockfight arenas, which are legal here in Puerto Rico. The cockfights are very legal here. Betting is still done on an honor basis. You can't see it right now, but right in front of us is the runway of the Luis Muñoz Marin International Airport. We'll be driving towards San Juan now.